folks, and welcome to the Snowy's Camping Show. How are you going, Ben?
Well, thank you.
Good. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening to your podcast, whether that be YouTube or your favourite podcast app, and also jump onto our Facebook group, Snowy's Camping Banter, and join in the conversation.
Yep.
So today we've got a Banter Bites. It's usually a short, sharp and shiny question that we get from the community generally.
We try and keep it
short. Try and keep it short.
Answer unless it's a long one.
Yeah, we try to do a bit less banter and more, here's the information on this topic that you might need. So I've pulled one out. Let's have a look.
This is a magic stubby cooler of questions here. If you've posted a question on the group or anything and we've thrown it in here, we'll make a note. If your question gets pulled out, we'll send you a stubby cooler and a sticker. What have we got? So
I think this one is a question that actually comes up on Google searches a fair amount. So it's not specifically a person per se.
Is it? No one's asked this specifically.
No one's asked this specifically.
It's something we've chucked in.
I think it's Cato, our blog manager's chucked this one in. Pretty straightforward. Blockout or not?
Okay, so I think we can make a pretty safe assumption they're talking about blockout fabrics.
Yeah,
because it probably would it be the last 3 to 4 years there's been this introduction of
I'd say
dark room. I think Coleman did it first, said dark room fabric. So there's a black coating on the inside of the fabric that cuts out all the light. They claim it, reduces 95% of the light and reduces temperature by 5% or something like that.
There are some pretty wild claims.
Yeah. Well,
none of which I think are actually tested.
Well, no, it's really vague. I mean, it's a whole nother conversation, but when it says it reduces temperature, it reduces the amount of light that comes in and potentially that stops it from heating up so quickly. But the fact is it's still a thin fabric and tents aren't insulated.
No,
it's just simple as that. Tents are not insulated. The sleeping system, that's insulated. The tent is not. You need ventilation and waterproofness in the tent. That's what it's there for. So that little coating of fabric, the amount of difference it makes, if any, I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything.
It's the same thing when you have people who are like, oh, I really like this tent, but it's got mesh panels in the roof and I don't want to be cold. It's not going to make a difference.
No.
It genuinely will not make a difference how warm you are, whether it has a solid fabric roof or it has mesh panels in the roof. You will be cold when it is cold in a tent.
Yep.
You'll be hot when it is hot in a tent. The only reason why those mesh panels are there and that are beneficial is because of more active moisture airflow with condensation. They manage condensation only, nothing to do with temperature.
Yep.
And somebody might go, oh, but if it allows more airflow, then argument's sake, it might mean that it's colder inside your tent. No, it doesn't. We're just talking airflow purely from a humidity and moisture retention perspective. It's not going to change your temperature.
Yep.
And even if it did, we're talking 1 degree maybe. And please don't pick a tent based on whether or not it has a mesh roof. Don't. It's just not a factor.
Get one with good ventilation is far more important. And that's on the flip side too when it's hot.
Yeah.
If you've got a tent that doesn't have good ventilation, it's going to be stinking hot in there because the sun's going to be hitting it. You've got no airflow.
Yeah.
It's still going to be hot because it's hot outside because once again, that doesn't actually insulate from inside to outside. In fact, it turns into a bit of an oven more so in summer. So you actually want that ventilation in summer as well. So so blockout, I don't think you should buy that.
Yes, back to blockout. Sorry, that's why we're talking about.
Don't buy blockout thinking it's going to do anything with temperature inside the tent.
Yeah.
I've been inside a blockout tent on a hot day when we're filming because we shut it all down to try and show how dark it was inside. Larry, our videographer, and I just sweating our heads off standing. We're only in there for a few minutes because it's so hot with the sun blaring on the fabric. It's going to be hot whether the blockout fabric's there or not inside that tent. Now, let's just talk about what should we talk about, positives or negatives? Let's talk about positives.
Positives, positives, really nice and dark. Really appealing to families with children who maybe have midday sleeps or like to get up at the crack of a sparrow's fire, and a bit of extra darkness is going to delay that wake up process, or even going to bed early, especially in summer in the States, in Australia, where we have bloody daylight savings, which in my opinion is a joke and is totally unnecessary, but also not really helpful to this conversation. But if you're camping in South Australia, for example, it can still be really bright and light and sunny at 9 o'clock at night because of daylight savings.
Yep.
You want to have a dark tent if you've got a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old that you're trying to put to bed.
Yeah.
That's where the argument, I think, for that comes in really handy.
Caravan parks as well can often have lights.
Yes.
In caravan park, and it helps to make it dark in there. If you're thinking you're going to use it for a sleep in the morning, that's probably nice on a cooler morning.
Yes.
If it's warm and the sun's out,
hot,
it'll still be dark.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an oven.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to get out of bed anyway.
Yeah. But that's a really good point, especially I think if you're camping at a caravan park. Again, with kids, I feel like the Blockout technology is really good for families with younger kids. That's when you should be considering it. I don't really necessarily think it's a factor that people should consider outside of that, but I'm happy to be corrected on people outside of that category that get them and love them. But said you've got a spot next to the amenities block. Amenities block's always lit up like a Christmas tree. So exactly what you're saying before, it's good to keep the tent nice and dark for that.
I don't mind the light in the tent. So I've got older kids now, so I'm quite happy to wake up with the light. So I wouldn't buy a Blockout fabric for that reason. Now that I like to know when the sun's up and when the sun's down, and I'm not interested in actually sleeping really long when I'm camping. I want to get up and watch the sun come up and have my coffee in the morning. Yeah. And I sit up till it goes dark at night. Yeah. So
I think the other factor is potentially on more of the con side is that it's a coating. It's not imbued in the actual fabric itself. It's a coating. And obviously as coatings on anything, they do have an age or a lifespan. And I think a lot of, not a lot, but a really common thing we get back from campers is that they've got a dark room and the coating's starting to peel off. Or, they live somewhere tropical or humid. The coating does not really last very well in tropical or humid environments. Sometimes you might not have used your tent for a while and you open it up and you've got big bits sort of bubbling or peeling off.
It's called hydrolysis.
Hydrolysis, yeah. Yep. You've also got a lot of people who purchase them expecting total blockout, whereas you'll get like what's often called a starry night pattern where there's just lots of little tiny holes all through the surface where light can get in, which then makes it look like a starry night. It's just you can't avoid that. It's just part of that coating of the fabric. It's just going to be like that.
Still waterproof.
Still dark room. There's no issue there. It's just that laminated or coating has just got a couple of spots there. Yeah. So just be mindful about that over time. If that coating is going to degrade, how you're going to feel about it on your tent. Because obviously if you get exactly the same tent that doesn't have that coating, you're never going to have a difference or an issue. Yeah. But black hobby paint, like if you go to a hobby store or people who paint like, I don't know what they call it.
Warhammer or whatever.
Yeah, thanks. That's what I'm thinking of. Or like Dungeons and Dragons characters or whatever. Cool hobby, by the way. That sort of paint, you can get that in a matte black, and apparently that's the same sort of thing that you can use to put, like you can do touch-ups if you've got tears in it or it started to peel off a bit, you can use that.
Okay. Probably wouldn't matter either way. But you're talking by the time your tent's doing that, and we've covered this in another episode that we'll link, you've probably got your lifespan out of the tents anyway, unless you've stored it terribly.
Or unless you're in the tropics.
Or in the tropics, yeah. So there's two negatives that I'll put to this, and this isn't me saying Blockout's bad, because I think it is good for families who need to create a dark space at random times of the day for their kids to sleep. It's absolutely perfect for that. I don't know if it's necessarily needed on canvas, because I think canvas is dark enough without it, but there's plenty of brands out there who use it.
Yep, I would agree with that statement.
But the downside of it that you don't see, and this is quite often we get comments like, why haven't they just done this to a certain temp? So applying that coating applies, my understanding, heat, and it's more coatings. They pass more and more coatings over this to create the PU coating, the waterproof coating, and the darkroom coating. Each time they do that, it impacts the integrity of the fabric, of the fiber, And you can get to a point where you could create a really high waterhead and a really dark coating on the fabric, but the fabric's really brittle and has no tear strength left.
Yeah, because it's been, I understand what you're saying.
So manufacturers have got to get this balance of like maintaining tear strength and drape, how the fabric kind of drapes and packs and rolls, and the performance of the waterproof rating and the how dark it is. And I know in Zempire's latest tents, they've actually pulled the waterproof ratings down a little in favor of making sure the tent fabric is more durable.
Yeah.
So they just haven't gone out to achieve just the highest waterhead rating. It's a balance between the two. And 1,500 mil is waterproof. We've covered this in another episode. I won't go into it now. So if you're getting 3,000, 5,000, 10,000,
it's waterproof.
It's waterproof.
It's waterproof.
But if it's a cheaper tent,
if you think it's leaking, it's probably condensation.
Yeah. If it's a cheaper tent with a 10,000 mil waterhead rating, then it's probably quite brittle fabrics that aren't going to last long, but it looks good on the box.
And I think that's been one of the reasons why Zempire haven't, like, I think when we had that, I don't know what episode number it was, but with Richard from Zempire, we were talking about that. And I think it's just because they haven't been happy with the end result of a material that has that darker blockout coating on it, So obviously that's a brand there that is prioritizing that durability and longevity of the tent materials per se over a feature that they sort of figure is not worth it for the potential trade-offs.
Yeah.
But having said that though, that is also like Zempire are a premium brand. So I think then you're probably also balancing, and I mean, I'm just totally throwing this out here as a thought process, but you're probably balancing the expectation of the consumer with the lifespan of your product based on its price point versus in which case those are the things you're going to think about.
Yeah.
And we're producing a top tier product at a top tier price.
Yep. How
are we going to deliver that?
I think
whereas you've got more accessible brands, and not to say that they're not great products, right? Like as I said, I'm just throwing it out here, and I'm absolutely, it's not a negative for other brands, but brands that produce products that are at a sort of more of an even price point for people, or an accessible price point potentially is for the majority, those features are going to be features that will align with a potential expected lifespan of a tent.
Yep.
Does that make sense what I'm
saying? I
saying?
think so. Yeah, we've drifted a bit from the blockout or not, but this kind of blockout coating and the waterproof coating are kind of the same thing. It's just that the blockout one's a black coating.
And it's on the
inside. Yeah.
But the waterproof coating is also on the inside, isn't it?
On the inside, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The DWI coating on the outside. That was the other episode that we covered that in. We will link that. So yeah, looking forward, if you're looking at a brand that you go, this is a really expensive tent, and they haven't put a blockout feature on it, why would they not have done that?
That might be why.
If it's a premium brand, then there's probably a rationale behind them saying we want to create a UV resistant, strong, reliable fabric that is waterproof, and given this is an expensive tent, has a good lifespan.
Yeah.
Adding that blockout coating is a sales point on the packaging.
Yeah.
But probably doesn't reflect what they want out of their brand in a long time.
Yeah.
So a lot of lightweight hiking tents, they don't have blackout fabric or high waterhead ratings. They've got what they need because they're trying to make them light.
Yeah. Ultra light. Yeah.
And that, so that goes to my next point, is weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to a comment on, it was once again Zempire. We talk about Zempire so much on this podcast. The Aerospeed tents, they made them to be roomy, lightweight tents. That was their strategy.
Yeah.
Like for like the car camper type category. Not bulky, not all the features, just reliable, durable, lightweight, compact tents. So it doesn't have a darkroom coating. And someone wrote on a post recently, I can't believe they didn't do that. Why would they do all this and not put a darkroom coating on it? Well, if they did that, I don't know what percentage of weight
that would add to it.
But you're talking coatings on all of that flush and multiple coatings.
And not just weight, but also the overall pack size because of the material and how it can fold down.
Okay.
It's the same. Like often you get questions about, oh, well, why didn't they do a double zip and then a double door on here with mesh? It's like, okay, well, the point of this product is a lightweight compact family tent. So there are concessions there.
Yeah. So if you want,
yes, you're right.
If you want darkroom and all those features, there are tents out there for it. It's going to be heavier, and potentially not quite the same lifespan.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Having
that's the
said
other
that
downside of
though,
Blockout.
like, you know, I can think off the top of my head, the two main Blockout tents we sell, Austrail Lumos. They've got a headland tent as well, I think, which has got Blockout, and the Coleman North Stars. You can run those for years and years and years and years.
Oh, yeah.
If you know
Great
how
tents.
to care for your gear and you know how to get the best out of your gear, they're awesome tents. So it's just whether or not you're like the priorities of the features that you're after and things like that. So
and the configuration of those tents are geared up towards the type of user who would want to use them. So families, like 3-room tents,
absolutely,
room for the kids, room for the parents,
affordable when you've got 4 or 5 people that you have to buy camping gear for. Those tents are an awesome affordable option. You can put your kids to sleep in the day. You can set up camp next to an amenities block.
So Blockout or not, if you're looking for lightweight and compact, it's probably not something you're going to have in the tent because it's going to add weight. I think for kids, families who want that dark space, maybe, I don't know, shift workers who sleep in during the day, if you just have a different sleep pattern to the sun and the moon, it's going to be beneficial. Otherwise, if you're going to bed when the sun goes down and getting up when the sun comes up,
you sync in your circadian rhythm.
Yeah, that's right. I've been waiting for ages to use the word circadian rhythm in this podcast, and you beat me to it.
I'm so sorry.
I can't even remember just what it is, but
Let's
it just
cut
sounds.
that bit
it sounds
out. Go
like
again.
No, it's all right. You can have that credit.
Okay.
Just sounds like you know what we're talking about. Can you explain it to me now?
Circadian rhythm.
You can, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay, don't. It's all right.
Okay.
I just wanted to put you on the spot.
No, of course I can.
All right. Anyway, it's a question for another episode. What is circadian rhythm? Because that's not getting off topic at all.
No, but
anyway.
it is. But it's one of the reasons why people feel so good when they camp.
You just get in a rhythm with the,
Yep. Deregulate, de-stress, your hormones, everything.
All right. Maybe it is a future episode.
Maybe it is.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, let's do a camping wellbeing episode. I like the idea of that. Let's really get into the science of why camping makes you feel good.
Is that a whole nother channel?
Yeah.
Camping wellbeing with
Ben and Lauren.
You got some great advice there.
Come here for lifestyle health advice. No, don't.
Stick with what we know.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps Blockout or not. But that's our opinion. Keen to know yours. If you use it for another reason, can advise yes or no on whether to get Blockout. Let us know.
Yeah.
In the comments or on our Facebook group, Snowy's Camping Banter. But that was under 20 minutes.
Nice one.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That was our next Banter Bites. We'll see you next time on the Snowy's Camping Show.
Take it easy.